that your intro music?
You are listening to Off Color, a podcast where we host real conversations about race and identity. I'm your host, Rebecca Henderson, aka the Tan Tigress, and season 3 of Off Color is going to be lit, fam. We'll have new and exciting guests and old hosts that you know and love. We are also leveling up, okay? And we are starting off season 3 with a brand new shiny membership to the House of Pod. House of Pod is a public pod space that, I guess not public, because private. I don't know. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and bring on a representative from House of Pod. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Rebecca. That's confusing because my name's Rebecca. Becca. Okay, not to be confused with Becky with the good hair. Welcome, Rebecca. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So can you really quick just let people know what you do at House of Pod?
Yes, House of Pod is part podcast incubator and community, and we're also a podcast production company.
Okay, so that's fantastic. So you produce your own podcast.
We produce for others. We are coming out with one. You will see that soon. Follow us everywhere. But right now we do production for other folks. We do editing, we do intros, outros, we do all sorts of classes. And then, of course, folks like you have memberships and you get to use the studio and have this high quality sound coming out of your podcast.
I know. Do you guys hear how good it sounds? Do you
So
remember
good.
what happened last time on the last episode that you listened to? I'm sure you were like, ew, whatever that was. Anyway, we will be having lots of awesome guests like that. We also will be talking to some white people this year more. I feel like in the past years, we hardly talked to any white people because I was really mad. So welcome, Janice. Just kidding, you
How's that
guys.
for an
Just
intro?
kidding. This will all be edited.
Fantastic.
Just kidding. I'll edit none of it. All right, Janice, welcome. Janice, as my new producer,
That's news to me.
it is. It's always news. I want to talk about, this is something I have mentioned before for white people when they're talking about being an ally when it comes to working with non-white individuals. And I feel like what you've been doing in the few months that I've known you is what a good allyship looks like to me personally. I can't speak for everyone. I will only speak for the Tan Tigress. But I feel like you supported my work, right? You, with money.
Yeah.
You gave money to a project. You barely met me, but you guys, and I was very surprised, you know? I was like, oh, snap, I just met these. Uh-oh. I
Running
almost
with
said-
my girls. I mean,
Yeah, but you were already volunteering for a campaign for a non-white person. You were already doing all these things. And then when I asked you for assistance, you showed up at my house with like chips. You were like, oh, I can't eat any foods or whatever, but that's like that's pretty white of you, but it's okay.
Yeah,
You're
I
like,
know.
I'm allergic to this.
yeah,
Anyway,
I got the
so
white people allergy.
what I really liked about you though from that was like you just jumped in and you wanted to help. You made us an awesome logo and for Running with My Girls for the documentary. And then you, when I lost my other assistant, Leah, who I could cry, you guys, I miss her so much. Leah, if you're listening, I love you. Come back, please. Just kidding. I'll call you and tell you the news later. All right. But you stepped up and you said, I will help you with this because I see that you can't do it by yourself, but I'm not going to try to like take over or tell you what to do or any of those things. So to me, that is like a really good example of how someone can support communities of color when you're not a person of color, even if you are a member of a marginalized identity, which she is. Because I don't really be messing with just regular white people, FYI. Okay. I'm like, you got something going on.
Makes sense.
Are you speechless from that?
Pretty much.
Exciting intro.
I'm flattered. I appreciate it.
No.
You know,
But it's true.
I like
I don't
to
know.
help people who are helping themselves and,
No,
and
Rebecca,
doing big things. So.
Yeah. And so that's, I feel like, part of what House of Pod's mission is, right? Is you're trying to make sure that people like me who maybe don't have access to a studio anymore.
House of Pod actually has a sister nonprofit, which is called Amped, and it's all about amplifying voices from the margins. And so I actually am a graduate of the first Women of Color podcast incubator, which we're hoping to do again if we get the grant funding this next year. So exactly, we are always looking for ways to bring new voices from the neighborhood and from the community into this space.
I think that is a great mission. I'm really glad to be here, and I feel really grateful to you. And don't worry, I'm going to edit almost all of this. Hey, you are listening to Off Color, a podcast where we host real conversations about race and identity. I'm your host, Rebecca Henderson, aka the Tan Tigress, and if you've been a long-time listener but not a contributor, check out the Tan Tigress Patreon. That is how we are able to pay to bring you this fantastic content. We had no budget before, but now, because of you, we do.